Okay, this is what we've been waiting for. We love control alt history drops. Okay, it's like going to the library back in the 80s when you had to scroll through that special film. Yeah, you get to zoom in, look at old magazine and newspaper uh, photos from the 50s. Okay, this is that aesthetic. So it's a lot of fun. And there he is, right down there. Okay, control out history. And oh, let me get in my control alt history. But anti. I'm anti control alt history. I'm on the other side, the far right. Okay, you're just one of those lefty Californians. Okay, I'm on the far right. So and the reason why I'm anti is because Peter Thiel. Thank you, Peter Thiel, for introducing me to the word anti. I'm anti everything now. Okay, and especially anti control alt history because I like this side over here. Okay, he's over here. But what I'm wanting to test out is my full screen capture. Yes, I got a full screen capture. Thank you, Asmon Gold, for showing me that you can do this. So, and I did it in Safari. I gotta keep that nice, loose, and smooth zoom in. Okay, I'm not using any of that Chrome stuff just because it's better for it. Okay, it doesn't zoom in nice. Okay, it's an integrated software like my OBS syndrome. Okay, I'm developing OBS syndrome because my hand's stuck in the hotkey position. All I see is gray. So we got John Denver. We got a new drop. Okay, and look what else is here. And I'm gonna check occasionally to make sure I'm still in screen because I'm still in screen. Because uh, yeah, I don't get to share space. It's just one tiny little screen that all this stuff somehow fits on. So I gotta check in occasionally, make sure I'm not blocking anything, especially control alt history. I would be not happy if I was accidentally in the far left side. Okay, I don't want to be in the far left. Yeah, no. It's just much too late to get into it. Now I know after these get broadcasted, there really is no time or space. Okay, I know. Bending reality, like Kyle Dunnigan's scene partner. She tells him that she don't do no New Year's revolutions. She's perfect. And doesn't even let him finish his stories. Okay. 9 seconds into the episode 0 video, Kyle Dunnigan's scene partner, for their self-taped scenes that they're doing for their audition reels. Okay, they decided to do it together. Why are you, Kyle Dunnigan, doing a project like this together with someone? Okay, so you got a producer, so you got someone behind the camera. Okay, you invested in yourself. Okay, we went through this. We talked about all this last night. Okay, so don't need to get into it on this one. Okay, I gotta move on. Okay, but if you guys want to hear what happened with Kyle Dunnigan, okay, in his episode 0, um, I got a hot take on that one. Okay, my whole world went upside down, and I just laid it all out there. Okay, so it's in there. You gotta find it. It's right at the end. Okay, that one's the last segment. So get in there. You'll see what happened. Okay, a little bit of a tussle with Stavros. Okay, a little bit of a tussle, and Kyle made it. You might have came on top on that one. So we'll just have to see how that one pans out. I don't even know if I should clip that one, okay? Because, I'm going to be clipping all this, okay? I'm turning straight up into a clip channel. I thought I wasn't going to. I'm going to, because this live streaming, I spend all my time in the settings before I begin, okay? It is, and I don't know if it's even legal in YouTube terms and services, which, by the way, I'm not being on kick anymore. It's too neon. Okay, there's too much neon, and it's green neon stuff flying around, even in their emoji system. Okay, which I got a couple follows. Thank you for those few follows. Appreciate the follows and the kick and the little chats. Okay, because I'm getting a chat system going. I'm building my community. Okay, watch out, Melton. I'm gonna be getting a super.ggg soon enough, and then we'll be able to have chat little partnership. Okay, so I'm chatting up in the chat room. So I'm getting my own chat now. Oh yeah, be getting those super tips, those hundreds. I see the red. Okay, but really gotta just test the levels here. Okay, and this is my anti-control alt history position. Let me jump into the one that I said it wasn't going to do. Okay, but I gotta check it. Nah. I was going to do full screen for you because this was just episode 0. Okay, Kyle was so vulnerable. And I got a lot to learn. Oh, I got a lot to learn. I don't let you guys see anything. Okay, so I got a lesson to learn from Dunnigan. How do you do it? But we gotta move on because there's just so much, and I would love to just recap too. Okay, I love recapping, but I need to do a recap from yesterday. Okay, let me just pop up a little bit tall from my recap. Okay, this is just when I'm just trying to do a little spiel. Okay, a little Spielberg. I'd love to do a recap. Okay, I'd love to do a recap of yesterday. Okay, and let me just see if we can pull it up. Okay, because it was just too much to do. Okay, now I had to swap all of these tabs into other windows, and it was a mistake. Let me pull it up right here. Got it right here because I love a recap, and I put them all in a different window. And I don't have that one. I got my full screen. I can do my full screen setup. I'm sure it's in there. There it is. Okay, so let's go back over to my watch later. It's much later. Okay, let's just do a quick I can't do recaps, guys. I can't, because if I click this button right here, okay, and I need to know that I'm not blocking anything here, okay, and I need to just sit back right down to that control out history position because I need you to see this, okay. We gotta talk to him. Okay, we gotta talk to him. because this is in the way. All right? This is in the way of him blooming. Okay, he will bloom. I mean, he has. I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, guy's a dynamite. Those impersonations, and now Kurt Metzger is trying to resonate. He's become a resonator, and he swore he wasn't ever going to be a resonator. He became a resonator just to impersonate. Okay, that is the Kyle Dunnigan effect. Okay, I got several rolling around in my head. Okay, and I don't got the spice to pull more than just a few out tonight. Okay, otherwise, ooh, watch out. Okay, but it's I've been hunched over like Melton over this computer for hours. Okay, so I'm not going to get all wound up tonight. Okay, I can't. Don't got it in me. Okay, I'm just here at episode 0. Now, he did a little bit of a check on the levels and see how it was. And all I'm saying, and I only watched the first, half of this, and I happened to watch it live right towards the end when it happened. So then I wanted to come back and watch it with you guys, and so we watched it through, and again, you're just gonna have to go back and watch it, okay? Because I just didn't think that this was necessary, okay? Now, maybe there's some necessity in her being there, but I can't quite find it. And I don't know anything about her except for what I found out. Well, not found out, but what I found out right at the beginning. Okay, she's drinking coffee 9 seconds in. Okay, if you're consuming right before your episode 0, 9 seconds. Do you know I haven't consumed in years? Okay, so I'm hunched over like this. I don't even know what I look because I'm a full screen streamer. Yeah, I'm just on this tiny screen, so I don't get to see what I look like any longer. Okay, because I want full screen for you. So, thank you, Asmund Gold. Now, you just have to check it out. Okay, but then there's something happening with Whitney Cummings. Okay, and it's not this. This there's this bot watch or whatever. But let's see if I got it. Oh, I can't do a recap. Oh, I can't do a recap. Oh, there's the episode 0. There, see? Okay. Are you guys seeing this? Let me make sure. All right. So, this right here is the king of comedy. Okay? So, don't get in his way. Okay? And I'm specifically talking about the women in his life. Okay? No, I don't know. Well, see, and that's what he's got to revert to. Okay, he's got to revert to anime. Yeah, just ease people's imaginations. Okay, so just let a man be theatrical. Let a man be theatrical. Otherwise, he'll be dipping into anime to prove that he likes sports. Okay. Let a man be theatrical. He's funny. Okay. We need more of this. Okay. We don't, we're just fine with the niche. Okay. Just keep the niche tucked in. All right. That, you know, easy king comedy. That's niche. All right. Now, this is a recap. Okay. I'm just hitting the highlights of things I spoke in quite length. Okay. Quite a long time in those archives. Okay. And I'm going to be chopping them up. I better not see one clipper getting my lengthy hot takes. Okay. Because I might have to go to a different country because I'm remembering that these are real people. These are not just characters floating around on my screen with my cursor. Okay. So you sprinkle those respect, okay? Whenever you see me, Stavros, okay, you best sprinkle a little respect, all right? But I can't get into it. That was just a recap, all right? But there was something more, okay? And it's about Whitney Cummings. Okay, now Whitney Cummings looking a little stressed out. All right, so a little bit stressed, that's fine. We all get stressed time to time. Okay. But again, and once again, I spoke about this last night. Well, now it's so late that it was the day before. Okay, but there's when you're doing these kind of you know, low tech productions. Let me see what screen you guys are even on. Sorry about that. It's full screen first time. That's why I'm on here so late, just to do my episode 0, because I figured out full screen. Okay. Figured out, but now I can't even see myself. Okay. I will get a dual screen soon enough, Melton. Alright, but um you know, I think she was recently mugged. Okay. That's basically the that's basically what I think. I think that um and I let me pull it up, okay? But I'm just gonna talk about it for a second, okay? But um there's just a few little movements that look like terror, okay? You don't want to be looking like terror when you are talking to an employee, okay? So you guys are talking about one thing, but you're meaning another, all right? So all those women do. But yeah, so there's a little boss beef, okay? Seems like people aren't getting in there in time. You gotta don't keep Whitney waiting, okay? Whitney is in waiting, okay? She doesn't like to be kept in wait. So, uh, so hopefully she's okay. Not that you gotta care about women, okay? But you know, those cities are getting a little dangerous, okay? So you gotta be careful. So let me see if I can show you what I saw, and you know, you can be the judge. Now let me see if it'll see. I got it saved on a different tab, but I know how to. Oh wait, yeah, of course. Let me see. All right, here we go. Now, this is right at the end of it. Okay. Now, let me make sure you can see all this here. Get down. Control history. Right here. Attack. Far right. Okay, I'm attack control out history. Um, but let's see if I can pull up when I was just setting up. This is just me just setting up, and I was trying to set up the show, and I was flipping through the old tabs from the previous show because I like to keep a nice little recap summary. But you know, there's just a little bit of raw tear. Okay. Yeah, that's not even, you know, reflections of a person who argues a lot. Okay. Because you can see those. And she's got a few, okay, but this is not one of them. That right there is trying to push someone or keep someone at a distance, trying to get her stuff. Okay. Trust me. I'm very familiar with that pose. Okay. Just kidding. I'm never kidding. I'm always serious. Okay. I want to see everyone look like that when I walk by because I'm not no street walker. Okay. I live in the subterranean depths. Okay. So, but that is someone pushing off or, you know, keeping distance from someone with even a possible weapon. But and I don't want to be zooming in on women. Okay, let's not get them upset. Okay, um, but we're just gonna. There's just a couple that kind of had me a little bit startled, and and I'm thinking that she had something to do with it. Thinking that she had one of her friends' cousins just maybe rough her up a little bit, okay? Because that is shakana. Okay, that's pure terror. Okay, I'm terrified just looking at it. Okay, now Kyle Dunnigan, he makes me laugh. Look at him. That's funny, and I can pull this here, and I'll show you. I'll show you the one that we. Okay, now again, I'm not gonna be zooming in on women. Okay, but that is someone a little bit too concerned about other people's opinion. Okay, that's what women are. They need reassurance. Okay, so she's like, why aren't they saying nicer things about me? Well, you think you exactly bitch and you attractive. Well, you ain't. Okay, so just go back and produce the show. Um, but Kyle Dunnigan, yeah, gets out of that anime shit. Um, and I never judge a man's cope. Okay, so let a man cope. Um, but yeah, he just needs a hug. Okay, someone just hang out, and she ain't doing it. Okay, that is Ice Queen energy right there, Ice Queen. So he just doesn't get it. No, he's actually really because the thing is he is like that. Okay, he is like that, and he's not afraid to show it. Okay, he's not afraid to show it. You best hide that. Okay, you bottle that up. How dare you show that? No, that is why he is the king. Okay, so here we go. And this is just a recap. I'm doing my episode 0. Okay. And again, I never show another man's chat. Okay. I'm not interested in the chat or the guests. Okay. But she rattled me. Okay. When she's doing that voodoo right there and trying to be like Steve Jobs and cast her consciousness spell on everybody. So, ain't gonna happen. All right. Um, and a lot of times they just get in the way. All right. You gotta let a man work. So, why don't you go start a different club? Because he invested money in himself. Okay. And now everyone's just trying to have all these cool ideas, and he will entertain them for a bit, and then wonder why he's just so frustrated. Okay. And it's because he's a people pleaser. Okay. You gotta be kind to the people pleasers because they don't even know that they're just all about it. Okay. Okay. So, oh man, you give me every time, Kyle. Okay. Give me every time. So Kyle's got the shine. Okay. Yeah. You ain't telling me that all Stabby. Okay. You ain't telling me that Stabby's the king. No, he is Kali Yuga. Okay. That is plumed serpent energy right there. He is I even looked it up because Kurt Metzger got me thinking about Quetzalcoat. I had it before and I was rapping to it. I wrote a poem and I sent it to wherever Kendrick got his award from. Um, but yeah, that's terror. But let me get back where I was because um, old Stabby, man, that's Kali Yuga. All right, that's destruction. That's creation through destruction. So, and we talked about all this before. So I'm just recapping. Okay, I'm throwing this on private. Don't even. I hope no one's best be watching except for Mystery. I appreciate it, Mystery. Thanks for the chat and hi, and the looking out for the comics drama because it's good to kind of touch base and see what's going on. It's been a while. But uh, seems like there's going to be a bit of a love triangle. So that is something to watch out for because if his new fling saw Doom's video, his or hers, it's definitely her, hip piece on Alicia, whoo, you best watch your perimeter, okay? So, my apologies. I did not realize you were on Stavros the whole time. So, let's get back. Okay, my bad. So, here we are. It's because oh, wait, why are you on Whitney? Are you on Whitney? Why aren't you on Kyle? Oh, man. OBS got me again. 1 second, folks. Thought you were on Kyle. Let's see if we can get you back on here. Since I've done this 100 times before I got on, I'm sure I can figure it out now. That's called going through the fire. Okay. Come through it. So if oh man, it's like it's on this the whole time. Let me see. Okay. Property. Just 1 second. Oh man. Okay, there we go. Now, How did it do that? Through just, well, hmm. Try one more here. There you go. All right, so I'm still in display capture. I almost went to window. Okay, but I'm doing display all day because just figuring out that full screen attention here. I got it for you guys. Okay, finally figured it out. Gotta go display. But then somehow my Safari worked with it. So the AI told me I gotta go Chrome. Okay, because that's what all the streamers do. But when I started zooming in, it got all digital. Okay, I don't like digital. That's why I'm not full screen. I might consider like old Kyle Dunnigan getting his nice new cameras. They just got a few different shots. Um, I might too go full screen, but until then, stay away from me with them full screens. Okay, this is me full screens. Okay, I'm pushing them away. Like that, full screens. All right, so I like to stay in the little corner and just tell you about a story. Okay, so that's just the recap, and let's. What I would like to do is watch that control history drop. Okay, that's a new drop, and see if I can find it because all my tabs are there. It is. Okay. Okay. So I can just click on it. It's there. All right. Well, because regardless, we just gotta move on. Okay. I love bringing you on the journey, but I don't need to be telling you every little discovery I made. Okay. I'm making tons. Um, but I just need to watch something. Okay. I've been all digital. I've been doing settings and scenes and all that stuff. So I just this one's a little bit more for me. Okay, I'm just gonna see how the full screen is. Um, but but I do need to quit talking and let them do some talking because I do need to check their levels. Okay, just level episode. Sorry guys, because I had a late one yesterday. Okay, that was a late one. Um, but I like it late. It's actually not late. Uh, it's actually let me check the time. 2 in the afternoon. Okay, so bright sunny day. It's beautiful out. Um, just finished going for a jog and want to come in here and get a little setting. Okay, so do my episode 0. Thank you, Kyle Dunnigan. Um, there we got a couple in here more. Let me make sure that you follow along here. We got a couple more. Let's see if we. I saved the screenshots. Great screenshots.
The mansion.
Um, but again, he had a lot of ideas he wanted to share and he wanted to test things out and she just wouldn't let him. Okay. And you can just see it all over him and he can't figure out why because he's in her voodoo. Okay, that's voodoo stuff. Um, but anyway. Oh, Kyle.
The quantum.
And that's why I don't rehash. Okay, I recap. Okay, I don't rehash because that's fake. Okay, I don't rehash. That's what women do. No, they do, but uh, we're not anti anything here. Okay, so you can be a woman, be a woman. Yeah, but we don't need to be doing strong critiques on women. Okay, just leave them be, and we'll just leave the zoom ins for the men's. Okay, they can handle it. All right, We like to make fun, poke fun. Okay, but don't be hurting girls' feelings. Okay, that's that's a little bit low hanging fruit. Not low hanging fruit. It's just didn't mean like that, but like now what I'm talking about, they're not even funny. They don't even know how to laugh. Okay, so stay away from them. Um, but here is let's get to control out history. I've been waiting for this, and because again, what I was saying was I have not watched anything. Okay, I haven't watched anything, and and I'd like to. Okay, I'd like to watch something. I'm sure you guys would like to watch something and not hear me right along with my recaps. Okay, not rehashes. I recap. I like Isaac Cappy. So here we are. Let's watch something for a little bit, please, for the love of God. You.
Strange background, and if you've been following my channel for a while, you might
Yes,
know
I
I've
have.
been doing these compilation videos of 5 celebrities who have
Oh, we got the compilations. Okay. See, Kurt's doing them too. Okay, I'm not a compilation guy. Okay, you can keep those compilations to yourself. I want to see something in its entirety or just uh, chopped up versions of it on its own. Don't be throwing it together like I want to see everything that's associated with Nephilim. Okay, so there's a little bit of a. That's why I like watching watching movies and not YouTube shorts. Yeah, that's why I listen to albums in its entirety, sitting down in silence, in complete darkness. Instead of listening to some randomized set that the AI thinks that you would enjoy as you're running into it the afternoon. Okay, so um, so we got not a compilation, but hey, if it's a control history compilation, then yeah, I'm okay with that. But as long as it's not that American redacted stuff, trying to make things an hour and a half when it could just be chopped up to two. Like Kurt Metzger's new drop, 2 hours and 22. Okay, I did nearly 8 hours in just 30 minutes of his 222. Okay, maybe even 20. So that was before I could speak a little bit faster. Okay, so now I got the flow. So you better watch out because it'll just start pouring out. No, it's clogged in there pretty tight, because these frames here, they're a little tight against the earmuffs. So no neurological pathways here, folks. Just pure vaccinated blood clots. So we got Kyle. Oh no, that's not Kyle. That's Oh, he's got the Hollywood dish. Okay, because I'm ready for my Hollywood segment. Okay, I want a little bit of the news. Thank you, Yasmin Gold, because I need you to be feeding me the news. Okay, because I can't be doing source watching from stuff that you're watching. You're like Fox News or the other guy who looks like he's in the corner of his kid's bedroom with socks on the bed, screaming in some hollow house, some dirty desk, and clickbait thumbnails saying that there's millions of Somalians flooding the world. Okay, so take it easy. But here we are with a Hollywood segment. Okay, we got top 5 celebrities. Okay, insanely weird family back. Okay, a lot of weird stuff, a lot of cool stuff. Okay, I like a little bit of Hollywood gossip. Okay, I like the mystique. Okay, so you don't participate, but you can take a look behind the wall. Okay, they got that walled garden for all of us subterranean, yeah, bottom feeders. So, and yeah, I ain't one of them, streetwalkers. Okay, I'm not a city dweller. Yeah, I don't. I live underneath the ground. Okay, I don't touch the ground. I live underneath it, or I soar. Okay, I soar above it, or I live below it, but I never touch it. Okay, so my feet never touch terrain. Okay, so he's got some good stuff in here. Um, let's see. Oh, I was trying to click on one of these. This is him doing a recap. Oh, he's doing a recap of his compilations. Okay, so you got me. You got me. Control Alt history.
Of just really bizarre backgrounds. They come from strange families, and in a lot of cases, they have just these really odd connections to major events in history. And I was going to do another one of these compilation videos, but there is just so much crazy stuff here with John Denver's life. So I figured I'd do a video just focused on him. So we'll get into it, and we're going to cover everything from John Denver's connection to the Space Shuttle Challenger that blew up in 1986. We'll talk a
Yeah.
bit about his death in 1997, which has some very suspicious things going on. And we'll even cover John Denver's strange link to the movie Ghostbusters 2. So there is a lot of weird stuff going on with him. And first up, his name wasn't actually John Denver. His real name was Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. And his life starts out on a really interesting note because Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. was born in Roswell, New Mexico. He was born New Year's Eve, 1943, in Roswell. And his father, Henry Deutschendorf Sr., was an Air Force lieutenant colonel who was stationed at the Roswell Air Force Base. And he wasn't just some any old Air Force pilot. Henry Deutschendorf Sr. was one of the most decorated test pilots in all of the Air Force. And in 1961, John Denver's father, Henry Deutschendorf Sr., actually set 6 world speed records in an Air Force jet. He flew over 1,000 miles an hour. Here he is. He was the pilot of the flight. And obviously, Roswell is known as being the site of the very mysterious 1947 crash of whatever it was that crashed there that day. Some people claim it was a UFO from outer space. Some people claim it was some sort of experimental aircraft that the military was testing. If it was an experimental aircraft, you do have to think there's a pretty strong chance that John Denver's father could have been involved in the testing of this technology since he was one of the most decorated test pilots in the Air Force. Now, officially, at least, John Denver claimed his family moved from Roswell when he was 3 years old. So that would have been right before the crash. So officially, at least, his father wasn't stationed at Roswell when the crash happened. But if this was some type of experimental aircraft, he still could have been involved in testing of it while he was stationed at Roswell in the years before the crash. But anyway, after they moved from Roswell, they lived in a number of different Air Force bases throughout the nation. And after he graduated from high school, John Denver enrolled at Texas Tech University, stayed there for a few years, and then he abruptly dropped out and moved to Los Angeles in 1963, which means he moved to LA right as the whole counterculture movement was really kicking off and gaining steam. And I mention this book all the time, Weird Scenes in the Canyon by Dave McGowan. But in this book, he talks about how just a ton of people who were the sons and daughters of very high ranking military officers, they all moved to Los Angeles really right around this exact same.
Okay. And then we got um who's another guy? Uh oh, can't remember his name. Well, what's his name? Uh chap. Who's the guy that um Requiem of a Dream? Yeah. Like that guy. So you ain't never gonna hear me say his band's name, okay? That ain't no music. Okay, that's just glam. Okay, that's straight glam. I'm not glam. Alright. So whoever played in Requiem of a Dream, those were some wild independent films. Okay, those were the heydays. Okay, none of that happened anymore. That's what all this is. Okay, streaming is the requiem of the dream of the 2026s. Okay. Um, but yeah, he was involved too, right? He's got the military base up in the hills. He's got the um he owns the. I really should figure out his name. I mean, can't just not say. No, I need to not say. I need to not say anything. Okay. Just let this play, because I am no longer reaction content. I am just hanging out. Okay. It's too wonky out there to be reactionary. I just want to be chill and consume. I no longer want to be a producer of anything. Okay. That means you have to have an opinion. And Shane Gillis told me that it's better to not have one. Okay. So I see what it means. Okay. I was first looking for those free spirited, independent thinkers. No, no, no. Not me. I am a nobody. Okay. No think. No thank you.
Time. They were all musical artists and they just converged on the city. They all got recording contracts, and in most cases, recording contracts from major, really huge labels. And all these sons and daughters of really high ranking military personnel just became the face of the counterculture movement. And in the book, Dave McGowan theorizes that what the military did was to basically install certain military connected people into this counterculture scene and then promoted them as the face of this movement to basically co opt the movement and make sure that it didn't get too out of control or bring attention to things that they didn't want exposed. So it was basically a way to secretly control this movement. And John Denver's story was pretty much identical to a lot of these other military connected artists who were arriving in LA right around this time. He was from a military family. He moved to LA very suddenly, and he became a part of this group, the Chad Mitchell Trio. And this was a folk band who was known for songs that were very politically focused. And they were already very popular when he joined. Supposedly, he beat out over 250 other people who'd auditioned to join the band, and he was in the band for a few years, and then he became a solo artist, and his solo career is what he's most well known for. And all throughout his solo career, he continued to be very politically involved. Quite possibly, he was the most politically active artist during his era.
Is that a black guy? You got he's in the black guy club?
He was just always speaking out on issues and giving benefit concerts. He somewhat infamously went to Russia during the height of the Cold War multiple times. And in 1985, he went on an 11 city tour throughout the Soviet Union. And these were the first concerts in the Soviet Union by an American artist in over a decade. And I do honestly really wonder if there wasn't way, way more going on with all these visits that he was making to the Soviet Union. Because again, the official story is that he was over there preaching peace and an end to the Cold War. But there's a long history of celebrities being used as spies during wars. There's actually a decent amount out there on the internet about celebrities who were performing spying duties during World War II, because being an artist or a celebrity is really kind of like the perfect cover. They're just sent abroad under the cover of like performing or entertaining the troops or going on a humanitarian mission, which they are doing, but they're also given like information to pass on or some specific assignment to carry out. There's this guy, George Estabrooks, who was actually involved in projects exactly like this. He was considered by some to be the father of hypnotism. And he wrote an article in the 1970s talking about how the military used him to hypnotize people to secretly relay messages during World War II. And it's honestly really interesting how he just describes this whole operation and how it worked. So I'll go ahead and just read a couple short parts from this article that he wrote.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, this is some good stuff. Thank you, Control History. Okay, we are a reaction content channel. Okay, we do not clip, we just react. No, please follow along with what I'm saying. Don't take me out of context because you won't know that I just kidding. Okay, But no, we do need to um make sure we're no man, this is some good stuff. Okay. I yeah. Let me take it back so I can remember what I was saying. You got me hypnotized. Okay. Um
and how it worked. So I'll go ahead and just read
Let me take it back a couple of years because uh you're saying something about
retaining the troops or going on a humanitarian mission, which they are doing, but they're also given like information to pass on or some specific assignment to carry out. There's this guy, George Estabrooks, who was actually involved in projects exactly like this. He was considered by some to be the father of hypnotism. And he wrote an article in the 1970s talking about how the military used him to hypnotize people to secretly relay messages during World War II. And it's honestly really interesting how he just describes this whole operation and how it worked. So I'll go ahead and just read a couple short parts from this article that he wrote about what he was involved with during the war. And he starts out by saying how he was used by the military to hypnotize couriers during the war. So he says one of the most
uh, well, I'm wanting to make all these comments and observations, because we're a reaction channel. But I really want to listen to this in its entirety, and you're gonna really enjoy it if you uh, go and watch it from the source. Okay, we are source content. Um, so, uh, but so occasionally I'm gonna just stop and just kind of take a look and wish he was just a little bigger, because anytime I kind of move around the the bar, kind of cancels you out, So I don't want to be disrespectful as you're providing such great material, and just because I got my cursor on OBS, knocking you out of the line right there. So, uh, you know, and let me, because I'm full screen now. So you guys get full screen, but now I get no screen. So I only the only reason why I do this is so I can look at myself. Okay, I used to sing. Okay, but now I gave that up just so you can have a full screen. So I have to occasionally check to make sure I'm not blocking important stuff so that you can enjoy it. But really, this is my episode 0, Carl. Thank you. Thank you for the idea of the 0 episode and spelling it out. You made it almost invisible. That was just a word and not a number. That's some tricky stuff, but I can't get into it all because I just, um, some great stuff here. So this is, um, yeah, let's take it back. Yeah, it's like getting serious, So, uh, you gotta be, you can't be having fan fiction through comedy, and then all of a sudden you're jumping into spy networks. I mean, that's just wow. Okay, so that's just you know that's that Hollywood gossip. Yeah, so it's nice to have a really good source of this kind of material, because you ain't getting it from me. Okay, I'm not saying anything about no Hollywood. Okay, so I just enjoying the content. So, but you gotta keep. I gotta keep it light because I can. Oh man. Oh, Kyle. All right. Ooh. No, and here's the thing with Stravos. Okay, he's a hang. Okay, he'll hang and all that. But this is just him getting really frustrated with his guests. Okay, he's got some guests that.
As a matter of fact, Tony, you fucking whore, I have. Oh! Red band's like, that would fucking kill, dude.
So he's just entertaining.
Coast comedian.
Yeah, he's entertaining the people. Again, yeah. I already gave my critique yesterday. You know, my lore. I got a little bit of Stravos lore, and he's got a lot. Okay. But you know, I think old Kyle here. I think old Kyle might have just got you. Okay. I think Kyle just might have taken the crown. All right. There's a whole lot happening there. Okay. And let's see if we can. Okay. A lot of comedy. A lot of comedy right there. That is the king of comedy. Okay, Travels. So you got your niche. Okay, this is niche. So I said what I said about your niche. Okay, so just keep your niche there and let the funny people do the work. Okay, let the funny people do the work. So you just keep over there in Hollywood and rub belly with Emma Stone as Kyle does the heavy work in comedy. Okay, so enjoy yourself in Hollywood. So Kyle's gonna rock climb his way all the way to the top of comedy. Have a few blisters in his toes because those shoes are just a little awkward. But it's worth it for comedy. Ain't it, Kyle? Okay, he knows it and he invested in himself to do so. Okay, and he's realizing a lot of stuff. No, that is completely empty space. Okay, that's why it's funny. Okay, that is not giving a fuck, but still a lot of pain. I don't need to describe it. You could see it all. So it is, you know, again, I can't get it. This is just a recap. This is just testing out the new settings. Okay. I went full screen and you can have that kick. Okay. I don't care if you pay me hourly. Okay. I'm not seeing neon ever again. Okay. I don't want no greenness. Okay. That's green neon. That's beyond broken. Okay. That's a gamer color and I don't want anything to do with it. You'll start having me drinking monster drinks, within a minute. Okay, so here, this is comedy. All right, we are searching for comedy. We are finding the things that make us laugh. Okay, mining for gold. We are prospectors. Okay, and so he ain't getting caught up in some Hollywood spy game. Okay, all them spies in Hollywood. Okay. Everyone asking why Jake Gyllenhaal's always sitting alone at the coffee shops. Okay, well, that's called Hollywood spy games. Okay, they got time on their hands. Okay, and they got all sorts of scenes rolling around in their heads that they need to somehow play out in order to be as good as Daniel Day-Lewis. Okay, it ain't happening. Okay, that guy is a freak of nature. Okay, so Kyle Dunnigan here, on the other hand, is looking for a community. Okay, he needs a comedy community because that lady next to him in her improv troupe, see, they're all militarized in the improv spectrum. Okay, they love their ranks. That's Scientology for you, if you ask me. You pay 'em for stuff. Come on, comedy's free, right there. Look at that. You know, tell me you gotta pay for it. No, and you should pay for this. This is priceless. Okay, so you know, leave Stavros for the niche. Okay, we don't all need to be hearing about your niche comedy.
That had banana bread in her ass. As a matter of fact, Tony, you fucking I have. Oh! Boing, red band's like boing.
Okay, lot of legs and a lot of awkwardness. Okay, again, I like seeing things halfway and up. Okay, no one need to be seeing people's legs. Okay, this is me standing up. Okay, I'm standing up. I'm 4'3". Okay, and you know, Kurt Metzger and his gang, they got 6-footers. Okay, they're all 6 foot, and I know one day, you know, again through the power of logos, and we've talked about this every single time. You know, you got to write things down and speak them out. Okay, and I know one day I'll be 4'5". Okay, I know it, and it's just 2 inches I can make it. So that's matter. You know, that's how you create. That is spoken. I will be 2 more inches. I guarantee it. You know, but you don't need to be showing on your legs. Okay, keep those. Yeah, but I'll say Stavros is looking good. Yeah, I like the color combo. You know, I like a good Greek. Nothing wrong with a good Greek. You gotta get a few good Greeks around you. Okay. But you get the wrong one. You know that he's what's wrong with your wrist, brother? What's wrong with your wrist? Okay. You starting a live stream. You got OBS syndrome. Okay, I got my hand locked into the hotkey position. Everything. I'm commanding everything around here. I got, you know, scenes everywhere. Locked in. Okay, I'm full screen right now. And you can have that kick. You know, even though I got a few followers, but it's absolutely terrifying. I don't want no follower from Neon Computer. Oh man. Keep those servers away from me. I don't even know what that stuff is. But a lot of bots. A lot of bots. Okay. Don't want to be talking to me. Don't be chatting with me. I'm not trying to chat. Okay. I'm just trying to watch stuff. Okay. So you can watch it with me, but I cannot be in the chat. Okay, I'm not a chat checker. Okay, I don't check the chat. I can walk a mile in Chet Hank's shoes though, because he's got style. Okay, you gotta have style to walk like Chet Hank. But he ain't no Chet Hank. Okay, he's just staying put. Chet Hank walks. Okay, Chet Hank is climbing. Okay, he's climbing mountains and getting exotic dogs. Okay, so say what you will about Chet Hank, but you ain't Chet Hank.
Fascinating but dangerous applications of hypnosis is its use in military intelligence. Communication in war is
Kurt Metzger, I see you wearing that maroon. Canison saying don't like maroon. Okay. Always something about that maroon. You got that maroon. Okay. You get that maroon, you switch it up and make it kind of green instead. Okay. Your t-shirt choices have been quite nice lately. So, you've been dressing better. That's great to see. Okay, because it was getting a little grimy with that flat denim. Okay, that's not even that nasty boxy denim that locks you in. Okay, that's that loose flat that you've been driving for a long time. You're wearing those kind of jeans with tennis shoes with the pointed edge, like you're about to go running, but not in a cool way, like a street way. Okay, yeah, you're military. Everyone knows you're military. Okay, and you know what I think about military. Okay, yeah, I'm talking to you, Valhalla. I like to see you actually do a pull up. Okay, you ain't do no pull ups sitting in that little seat you got there. So,
always a headache. Codes can be broken. A professional spy may or may not stay bot. Your own man may have unquestionable loyalty, but his judgment is always open to question. The hypnotic courier, on the other hand, provides a unique solution. I was involved in preparing many subjects for this work during World War II. One successful case involved an Army Service Corps captain who we'll call George Smith. And he continues on and talks about how the process works. He says, I put him under deep hypnosis and gave him orally a vital message to be delivered directly on his arrival in Japan to a certain colonel. Let's say his name was Brown, of military intelligence. Outside of myself, Colonel Brown was the only person who could hypnotize Captain Smith. This is locking, quote unquote. I performed it by saying to the hypnotized captain, until further orders from me, only Colonel Brown and I can hypnotize you. We will use a signal phrase, the moon is clear. Whenever you hear this phrase from Brown or myself, you will pass instantly into deep hypnosis. When Captain Smith reawakened, he had no conscious memory of what happened in trance. All that he was aware of was that he must head for Tokyo to pick up a division report. On his arrival there, Smith reported to Brown, who hypnotized him with the signal phrase. Under hypnosis, Smith delivered my message and received one to bring back. Awakened, he was given the division report and returned home by jet. There, I hypnotized him once more with the signal phrase, and he spieled off Brown's answer that had been dutifully tucked away in his unconscious mind. The system is virtually foolproof. As exemplified by this case, the information was locked, quote unquote, in Smith's unconscious for retrieval by only the two people who knew the combination. The subject had no conscious memory of what happened, so could not spill the beans.
All right, I just gotta take that back. Wow, that's some very well explained yeah, that's very well explained, and I
Received one to bring back with
let me take
a
it back.
vision report.
Sorry. See where we're at here.
Out by saying how he was used by the military to hypnotize couriers during the war. So he says one of the most fascinating but dangerous applications of hypnosis is its use in military intelligence. Communication in war is always a headache. Codes can be broken, a professional spy may or may not stay bought, your own man may have unquestionable loyalty, but his judgment is always open to question. The hypnotic courier, on the other hand, provides a unique solution. I was involved in preparing many subjects for this work during World War II. One successful case involved an Army Service Corps captain who we'll call George Smith. And he continues on and talks about how the process works. He says, I put him under deep hypnosis and gave him orally a vital message to be delivered directly on his arrival in Japan to a certain colonel. Let's say his name was Brown, of military intelligence. Outside of myself, Colonel Brown was the only person who could hypnotize Captain Smith. This is locking, quote unquote. I performed it by saying to the hypnotized captain, until further orders from me, only Colonel Brown and I can hypnotize you. We will use a signal phrase, the moon is clear. Whenever you hear this phrase from Brown or myself, you will pass instantly into deep hypnosis. When Captain Smith reawakened, he had no conscious memory of what happened in trance. All that he was aware of was that he must head for Tokyo to pick up a division report. On his arrival there, Smith.
So all that, okay. So Captain Smith reawakened. He had no conscious memory, or so, and no conscious memory of that. Or, I mean, or what happened? Okay. Anyway, all that he was aware of. I suppose I should say it out. I mean, because of listening. Sorry. Um, all that he was aware of was that he must head to. So okay, so then, um, he had to. Okay. Hmm. So no, I mean, nothing was even said afterwards. So it didn't say like how long the trance was or anything like that. But um, so there was just like an impression that he had to have to go. Hmm. I mean, that's ooh, 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 wow, wow. Okay, that's wild, wow.
Reported to Brown, who hypnotized him with the signal phrase. Under hypnosis, Smith delivered.
And okay. And who do you think those people are that do the locking and unlocking and activating? Okay. So I think, well, I mean, it seems that like if you have people walking up to you, interviewing you, or you know, game show hosts, or talk show hosts, late night talk show hosts. They're all casting their spells. You know, they love them monologues. So pretty wild stuff. Yeah, this is all legend, all legend, all legend. It's all that we don't know, no theories. Okay, we just like to talk. Okay, this guy's got some good work, just like Candace. I'm over here in the far right anti control halt history side. Oh, I can't even see it. Get the full screen. So I'm over here.
My message and received one to bring back. Awakened, he was given the division report and returned home by jet. There, I hypnotized him once more with the signal phrase, and he spieled off Brown's answer that had been dutifully tucked away in his unconscious mind.
So, you know, well, is that the Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of stuff? You know, that kind of in plain sight. They're all spies. Love doing their spy network. Hanging out in different countries. And I can't stand country. Okay. I like being in the depths. And not the city. So I still can't remember that guy's name.
The system is
I'm
virtually
hypnotized.
foolproof. As exemplified by this case, the information was locked, quote unquote, in Smith's unconscious for retrieval by only the two people who knew the combination. The subject had no conscious memory of what happened, so could not spill the beans.
Wow.
So it is really interesting to read how this process works from a guy who was involved with it firsthand. And I do wonder if something like this could have been going on with John Denver. He obviously had the military connection with his dad. This was right during the heart of the Cold War when he traveled over there, and the Cold War was just nasty. And again, being a musician.
Okay. Well, one second. Let me pull something up here.
On a humanitarian mission was just the perfect cover. And he could have also been used to provide cover for another agent or spy. So, in other words, John Denver himself wasn't the one spying or gathering intel, but an agent or a military officer was inserted into his entourage to spy during these Soviet Union trips. And this was actually done with Elvis. The Treasury Department wrote this letter here on screen talking about how back in the 1970s, Elvis agreed to let an undercover agent travel with him on tour. And Elvis told anyone who asked that this person was a part of his band, but the agent was undercover the whole time and performing an investigation and using the tour with Elvis as his cover. And John Denver also went to other countries that were hostile towards the US, like China. So I definitely think that he could have been involved in something similar to what Elvis did, especially with John Denver's family connections with.
Oh, uh this is feeding the soul. Okay. So I this is stuff that I'm just gonna have to uh enjoy on my own because um I'm just gonna sit here and watch it. So instead, I think we'll just wrap it up. Okay, we're just checking the settings. Okay, I went full screen today. I was able to figure out how to go full screen, and um, and that's even in Safari. Okay, so that even in Safari, I figured out how to go full screen on OBS. I got the OBS syndrome. Okay, I got the hot key locked in my hand position like this. Um, so yeah, full screen. We're just checking the levels. This is my episode 0. Okay, it's not even a number when you spell it out. And we're just checking the full screen. Okay, we'll play a little bit more here.
The military. Actually, I think a lot of these 1960s artists who had the military backgrounds and the military family connections, I think a lot of them could have been used by the military for things like that as well. And the next strange thing with John Denver has to do with the movie Ghostbusters 2. So, the basic plot of the movie is that there's this really creepy painting of this ancient emperor named Vigo the Carpathian, and the spirit of this emperor is trapped inside.
This is what Kurt Metzger's got me searching all about. Thanks, Kurt. Now I know about. How do I even say it again? I forgot. I had a whole thing about it.
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican satirical deity. Quetzalcoatl lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican satirical deity. Quetzalcoatl lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican satirical deity. He's a deity. It's a Mesoamerican satirical deity. This is Quetzalcoatl. He lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican satirical deity. What do you even do? Quetzalcoatl lives in I mean, that is just... Yeah. It's just ain't my thing. None of this resonates with this, okay? Not into any of this. So you can have it, okay? Quetzalcoatl lives in Colorado. Oh man, it just rolls off the tongue. Quetzalcoatl. Thank you, Kurt Metzger, for having me gain a speech impediment just by learning this word. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen green in a deity before. I thought that was a new color. That was a new one. Okay. So, I didn't know deities went green. I thought it's usually shades of gold. What are you doing with green? Quetzalcoat? Come on, man. Get in that shade of the E minor. Okay, that's straight up C. A lot of C major here. Okay. That's a little bit of B minor, which is alright, but yeah, that's an A minor if I've ever seen one. But this is just like, it's an A third. That's an A third. I don't even know what the numbers are. I am not a numerologist, okay? I just observe. That's a lot of green, Colorado. He lives in Colorado, Mesoamerican, Aztec culture, deity. That's Quetzalcoat, lives in Colorado, Mesoamerican, Aztec culture, deity. Okay, this is why it took so long for me to get on live today, because I was learning my set list. Okay, I want to perform in Joe Rogan's new business venture. He is going to be open up music venues combined with dance, and we'll be able to dance our way to 7th Street, because 6 is getting a bit busy. Okay, that's not a joke. It's getting really tight there. Okay, so we need to get up in that 7th and 8th Street part. Okay, but that it's a pretty windy street. A lot of twists and turns. So you watch out, Quetzalcoat. So that's a plume serpent. Okay, crawling and soaring. Okay, no walking like all them city dwellers, all them surface dwellers, walking on them sidewalks and all that. Not here. We crawl or soar. Cause like Colorado, it lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican, Aztec deity. I just locked you in. Now, go make me a sandwich. Okay? That's Kurt Metzger, I think. Okay, thank you, Kurt Metzger, for esoteric names to Google search. Okay, I Google search all my deities go right in my Google search. They think a lot of things. Okay, I just do all my deity search it right into Google. Okay, and you should a lot pretty wild stuff. Yeah, but that's pretty wild. The rise of Quetzalcoat. So this was really appealing, and I even clicked on it. And it's a bright old page, super bright. It's just a article talking about it. YouTube's got me thinking that anything with a picture and words underneath it is an hour and 23-minute really cool docu-series about it. And it ain't. It's just a flash of white light in your face, reminding you of a day when you used to have Yahoo before you when they commit to changing the settings to not just be this bright white with blue or red. So I don't know anything about this, okay? What's Kurt Metzger trying to resonate with whom certain for? Okay, that's mystic. Quetzalcoat, it isn't Colorado. I mean, it's just meant for it. So that's a little pull up. Okay, so now here's another one. So we got a little bit of MK Ultra, a little gate program, some CERN action, and Montauk Project. I mean, you might as well just throw in that Monarch there too. Okay, that's all that good stuff. Okay, so now I don't want watch these kid shows. Okay, so but I don't think the oh, okay, yeah, this is going to be about this show. Okay, but they put all this in there, so I don't know what this is gonna be like. I don't got the time for a live reaction one yet. Um, so maybe I'll save this for later. But um, yeah, I'm not really interested on anything about this show because uh, I live it. Yeah, I don't need to watch it. But you ain't getting me again, MK. I know the unlocking key. It's Quetzalcoat, lives in Colorado, Mesoamerican, Aztec deity. You know, like, I want my deities to, harmonize with the. Nah, no harmonizer. I don't like a harmonizer. Okay. And again, it's just much too early in the afternoon to get into this, you know, it's ideas I got, but we won't be watching no Stranger Things, okay? So I'll give me a MK Ultra Gateway CERN Montauk, yes, but I'm about to not watch anything because I just saw this kind of stuff being pulled up, and if I see that in my screen, because I already told you what I said, I told you what I thought, and one of those things was about MK Ultra. Okay, now you can have movies about it and all that. Okay, when it comes to storytelling, but do not go mega meta, go mega multi-meta, and start saying the word in movies. Okay, that's as bad as going back and watching 24 and realizing they didn't even have to pinch and zoom. Okay, let alone a GPS. And Agent Bauer was jumping out of helicopters and sending information via something that came from Kick. So that's what this is. All this stuff is Kick font. I don't want any of that. Don't want any of that at all. Okay. So that is you being hypnotized. Okay, that's what that is. And you did not get me. Okay, I'm one of the few that has never seen an episode. Sorry about that. Episode. Okay, I never will. And there was a point where I was going to. Okay, I was going to, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. Let me just watch it. Okay. This was last year, not this year, last year. And I believe I was going to watch one of the first episodes, and before the new season. And just couldn't. And yeah, just not my thing. Not my thing. But yeah, I'm not into Hang On. That old movie, Hang On. These kids just walking on them railroad ties. It's a little too, a little too serious. We are a very serious live stream reaction commentary. Okay, no jokes around here. We speak our mind. Okay, and no matter what Shane Gillis says and wants people to have no opinions, we will, well, follow YouTube's terms and services. Okay, no matter what, I will even go and switch and go Control Alt History left if I need to. Okay, don't think I won't. I will. So, anti-Control Alt History. Not saying that I don't like them. It's just I'm on the other side, the right side of my screen. Okay, just tiny. No, he's way tinier. Okay. But we got Quetzalcoat. Are you guys seeing? Oh, looks like oh, it's been stuck on that. Okay, well, let me. Sorry, I was playing a Stranger Things documentary. I think it was MK Ultra stuff, and didn't realize that you guys were stuck on that screen. So this is why it's my episode 0, because I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. Because AI said it would if I didn't use Chrome. I don't know what it was. Well, I think that's probably just a sign for the time. Because I don't know where my OBS is. Yeah. Ooh, full screen gets you knocked out. Okay, I don't know if I can do full screen for you. Okay. I gotta be connected to my OBS. It's gotta share the same space. And full screen knocks it out because I'm sharing it all in one space. water. All right, well, while I figure out how to flip through tabs without it locking out on me, um, yeah, I would say to take a look at um, those shows, watch from the source, and then you kind of see people's different take on it, and but we got Quetzalcoat. He lives in Colorado. Okay. Well, thank you for the episode 0. Again, this is why I don't like to watch stuff, okay? Because that means I'm not talking. I need to be talking the whole time, okay? No point in me just sitting and watching stuff, okay? Yeah, I gotta stand like this and talk, okay? This is me standing, okay? I'm 4'3". Um, but yeah, I can't be just sitting watching stuff. I gotta be able to stop and commentate, and that's why with control history, you just want to sit and watch it, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off, and finally got a good show to watch. No, there's been a lot of good stuff out there, and I have yet to get to it because I stop every 5 seconds and talk for 30 minutes. Okay, and I will get better at the gaps between pauses, but I see you in the chat. I see you in the chat. The chat shoes. You telling me you gotta. There's not a single. I know. Oh, I just did a chat. Never do a chat this early in the afternoon. Oh no. No. You gotta just pretend like it's just a show. it's a chat show. Okay. Chet Hanks. Um, but oh, and the pre-shows, guys, the pre-shows. Wow. I mean, once the technical aspect, you know, gets a bit better, because again, that's a time consuming thing. And then I'm all in slow mode, and that just shows you what computers do. They put you in that low energy mode. Okay, just sit and it's fun. You're doing all the stuff, but you got to be able to resonate, Kurt, resonate. No, you. But Quetzalcoat. Yeah, what's this all about, Kurt? So we're just figuring out OBS, trying to figure out why it's not following my screen. It's stuck on that one. I was wanting to learn about John Denver's background because it's stranger than you think, according to Control History. Gotta figure out this OBS. So, all right, appreciate the show. It's a chat party show, and figure out what Control History's got. There's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of good stuff. The comedy scene running a little dry. So you gotta hop over on that Hollywood gossip, the Hollywood Stranger Things Hollywood kind of stuff, and you get a little bit of that you know, the gossip kind of stuff. You gotta get the gossip. Oh, we don't gossip around here. Okay, that's a thing for them city folk. Okay. But oh, I wish you guys could follow my screen. All the cool tabs I got set up. But yep. Once the that's what I was gonna say. Well, yeah, once the technical stuff shortens up a bit, then I'll be able to make reaction content, okay? Because you gotta make content. There's no art school, film school thing happening here. No, you gotta make that stuff. Okay, so this is just the gathering the material. I'm just going through the internet, just seeing what's out there and reacting to stuff that's pretty current. Okay, I'm not just going anywhere. Okay, I'm doing relatively current stuff about mainly comedy. Okay, the funny stuff, and occasionally there's a little bit of that, the Hollywood gossip, and I don't know if I can do news. Okay, I need my news in the morning. So you don't want me to be doing news, okay? Because then Shane Gillis is gonna get mad because I got all sorts of opinions, okay? So I just leave that up to Asmongold. So whatever he says seems to be pretty close, and I wonder how is it? That's pretty close to what I would be saying too. So, but I would like to figure out how to fix my web browser so that Joe Rogan isn't stuck on my page. Oh, AAA, you. But I gotta figure that out. But go wrap this up and appreciate the hang. This is 0 episode. Thank you, Kyle Dunnigan, for the idea of having one spelled out. Okay, which you guys can see. Let me do this real quick. Okay, I might as well because it's just I'm ready to get Matthew McConaughey on you and going to show you a way to do it. Okay, you just gotta get right there, and I did it because I went for McConaughey. Okay, so got it right there. Okay, comedy and Matthew McConaughey is a Matthew comedy. Matthew McComedy. So we are a comedy reaction podcast. Not a podcast, just live streaming. And it's not a thing for podcasts. Okay, move over podcasts. Time's up. Hashtag. Okay, it's live streamers. Okay, all you guys and your shows and podcasts. How dare you interview someone other than yourself. Wow. Why would you ever ask another man a question? Okay, that's some trickery stuff. No, I don't ask. Okay, there's no asking. I don't think you guys have ever heard me ask. Okay, I don't ask. But yeah, this is comedy. All right, Stavros, buddy. I hope folks aren't military. Okay, that means you might be able to get locked in. They might use that hypnosis. Okay, that Leonardo DiCaprio kind of stuff. You'll be in a Martin Scorsese movie in no time. Okay, they can cast that spell on you real quick.
That would fucking kill, dude.
East Coast comedian Stavros.
I have. Oh! Red band's like, that would fucking kill, dude.
East Coast comedian.
Who said that? Because I mean, unless this was a pulled from another commentary.
That would fucking kill, dude.
East Coast comedian Stavros Halkias.
I have. Oh! Fucking kill, dude.
East Coast comedian Stavros Halkias seems to have woken up to the rise of the hackpocalypse that's absolutely wreaked havoc in Austin, Texas. Because whenever the topic of Kill Tony, Joe Rogan, or
Has the YouTube been loud? That was the other thing I was gonna try out. And I forgot. I was check my levels. Okay. Control history had me all captivated. I started watching stuff. This was just a test. How dare you? Okay. So I needed to check my audio because on the last episode I had turned it down a little too much and my microphone was too loud. Okay, a little too loud. It was a little bit louder than the main source, and I looked, and maybe a little bit more than halfway through that episode, I realized that the YouTube volume was turned down, and that I was probably screaming to something that was quite quiet. So that is just as bad as rapping a cappella. Okay, you need a beat behind rap. It's barely watchable when performed live. So imagine just a man doing it. Okay, you ain't gonna do it. Alright, so that's what instruments are for. So you got guitars, violins, strings. Okay, none of those digital beats. So we are resonators like Kurt Metzger. Okay, you gotta harmonize with the ionosphere. But this is loud talking joke world. He is the TMZ of the comedy scene. but non-biased and friends with everyone.
Or the Austin comedy scene arises, Stavros isn't afraid to voice his honest opinions about it, unlike some other comics who tiptoe pretty carefully around the topic in order to spare.
Okay, so that one section. Oh, see, that's my. Oh, it's changing the volume. I'm trying to skip backwards.
Lord Joe
And
Rogan's
it's lowering
little
the
feelings from
volume.
being hurt, like
Wow.
as you just.
Wow. Oh no, it didn't do that there. Oh, interesting. But it did do that. But if you see this episode, okay, I recommend seeing this episode. But there's a whole thing about it. And there's some good coverage out there about this. Yeah, but even just watching it on its own, you know, these are some wacky characters. They're wacky. Okay, this shot alone, and I like to back it up so you can take a look at this other guy back here. But this guy right here constantly needs his Kyle Dunnigan partner, whatever her name is, just the same way. Reassurance from Tony. Okay, he is always making sure that he thinks he's okay with that thing that he did for him. Okay, looking, and he's just power tripping right there. So, and you've seen it all. Okay, he set up the whole thing. So this is the Godfather of comedy. Okay. That's what they say. They say he's the Godfather of comedy. No, thank you. No, thank you. There is nothing about that I'd ever like. Okay. Everyone back here is so much better than that look right there. Not a chance. Okay. Not gonna happen. And you just keep making sure that Tony's at. Oh, thank you so much, YouTube, for
Around the topic.
the large floating thumbnails occupying my full screen. Okay, but that's that Tony agenda. Okay, he's part of the Tony Agenda League, the Suicide Squad. Okay, they are out in the city trying to find public bathrooms like Segura. Okay, don't get me amped up, man. I'm trying to get on with the rest of my day. I got the whole day ahead of me. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, I gotta go to Trader Joe's. Okay, and you're all looking agenda like Tony Agenda. Okay. Keep your niche stuff in your niche business. Niche. Okay. I don't need to see your mobster stuff. Okay. I'll learn about that through Martin Scorsese. Okay. I don't need to see it. You know, mobsters. Okay. These are mobsters. And that's a lobster. Mobster. Alright, well, that is the show. And I'll learn to not even end a show. Oh, you guys didn't even get any of that? Oh, man. See, that's why it's 0 episode. Did you guys even get any of this here? Oh, tell me you got some of that. Oh, is this the first time you guys are seeing it? Oh, no. See, I guess just gotta... Oh, I'm not gonna use... Like, these zooms are just too smooth to switch to Chrome. But anyways, these are the mobsters of comedy, and that's... He's a lobster of comedy. This is the mobsters of comedy. They're the ones running everything. Okay. You actually think Tony is running anything? Nah. He's running everything. And this is his number 3. Yeah, that's not even his number 2. So you can keep it. Keep all that. Okay. Don't need any of this. This is just New York. Okay. Don't need that New York city folk. Okay. Keep it Kyle Dunnigan. Okay. Keep it Dunnigan. Trying to find the page I was just on. See, I'm not used to this full screen. Okay, there it is, right next to it. Come on, there. Okay, so here. See, this is still in that Stavros video. So, you mean to tell me that this is the trilateral comedy agreement? Okay. This is not comedy. Okay, that's laundering. That's money laundering. Allegedly. Okay, this is comedy. This is just a recap show. Okay, I already went into it, but don't let people interrupt you all the time. Okay, just make your content. Go and film your self-recording.
Manifesting what you want without the gay parts of manifestation that people talk
It's
about.
gay.
You're like, oh, you can just write a vision board and then you're going to get the, it's not like that. It's like, oh, if you actually just live in the moment with gratitude, you'll actually just
It's exhausting.
It's a lot.
I can do it for a little bit. I do believe that's a very good idea to do it. I don't like how if other people are doing this, then if it's a bell curve, which I think it is, because there's only so much good stuff, then I'm gonna get worse stuff if I'm not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you have to do it.
You guys like the new studio?
So this is his episode 0. Okay, I'm recapping. But I gotta end broadcast. But okay, this is just what I'm saying. Okay, this is comedy. This is not. We're reaction content here. Comedy reaction. We're gonna be reacting. Okay, but he's got it. Okay. You just everyone's got an assistant. Okay, everyone's got a producer. Group's got a 6'8" Nephilim. Okay. So but he's he's got to be around a lot of people. It's not like Crip's producer, the introvert. The intuitive introvert. Okay. Not this guy. No intuition whatsoever. No, that's all intuition. Okay. That's what comedy is. Is all intuition. So just wrapping it up. Gotta go through the tabs. But here's the John Denver. Okay, that's a deity. Okay, that's not Quetzalcoat. Okay, wearing green. Oh, what color is that? That looks much more deity than Quetzalcoat wardrobe. That's a Arizona stuff.
The painting. And this spirit that's inside of the painting possesses one of the workers at the museum and orders him to bring him a baby that he can possess and basically be reborn. And Dana from the first movie has a baby that this worker.
Okay. So, as a kid, you see these movies, you don't really know what they're about. Okay. But these are like the Batman of today. or these back then. Okay, everything in Christopher Nolan's film, we're gonna end up seeing it later on. So I'm just waiting for the time we're all going backwards, because I know it's gonna happen. I know it, but all their plot lines are quite peculiar. So that's why I never write a script. Okay, don't be writing scripts. Okay, no script writers here. Okay, we are outdoors. The logos. Okay, we speak our mind. Okay, our brain is silent. It's time for our mind to speak. Okay, it takes a lot to get your brain to quiet down. No, mine's been silent for years. Okay, and there's a lot of law in these movies. Okay, but much like how the superhero movies are all talking about their technology. Okay, getting all digital. So it's gonna end up happening soon enough. Well, there they are with Rosemary's Baby. Oh, pick that. Solving ghost mysteries. That is a little too Stranger Things for me, okay?
Brings to Vigo, and they do this big ritual to possess the baby with the spirit, and it nearly works until the Ghostbusters save the day. So honestly, it's a pretty disturbing plot if you really take a closer look at it. But the
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that is some dark and twisted, okay? And before they started doing this, there's a lot of beanstalks and giants living up in the sky. So whatever happened to those? I remember that Mickey Mouse one. That was some strange animation. Looks like this. I need my animation digital. Okay, none of that hand-drawn animation. That's too real.
connection to John Denver is that the actor who played this baby in Ghostbusters 2 is Henry Deutschendorf Jr., who's John Denver's nephew. So it's obviously pretty strange that the baby chosen to play this role just happens to be John Denver's nephew. But the really disturbing thing is that this actor, Henry Deutschendorf Jr., he was a twin, and him and his twin brother were the ones who played the baby. But this actor committed suicide back in 2017 at age 29. And it was said that he suffered from a severe case of schizophrenia. And the really curious thing here is that there's a lot of speculation that some cases of schizophrenia are actually a form of demonic possession, basically saying that these voices that some schizophrenics hear or these alternate personalities that some of them suffer from is in fact demonic possession. And there's this
That's why you never be listening. People who have voices in their heads, okay? Don't need rattling around with all these different voices trying to get out, okay? You just stay to your own voice, okay? There's no people telling you about things and plotting, okay? You don't know physics. Okay, I don't care that you know the word quantum. Okay, you're not telling me how to bend time. Okay. Man. But yeah, don't be resonating. Okay, that's Kurt Metzger's way of saying that. You should just watch stuff. Okay. You better resonate. You better resonate. Okay. Resonate whenever you speak. Okay. You're flat in your communication. You're not making an impact. Less is more when you resonate. I'm gonna be hearing all that gibberish. Mesker. Okay. You scared. That's why you talk so much. Oh, but you know how to make me laugh, though. Okay. You still got a way to make me laugh. Okay, you got a bit of that Stavros. So Stavros makes me laugh. He makes me laugh. But Kyle Dunnigan knocked the crown right off his dome. Okay. So you can hear all about it on the last episode. Okay, that was a one and done. Okay, I not coming in hot like that. Okay, I need to slow my cadence down like this. 'Cause that is a lot of talking. Okay, I gotta wear the body out. Okay, quiet the brain so the mind can speak all of the voices that are in it. So don't you be listening to people who got voices in their heads. That's some crazy stuff.
This guy, Dr. Jerry Marzinski, he has a ton of interviews out there about his research into schizophrenia actually being a form of demonic possession. Now, obviously, the plot of Ghostbusters 2 has to do with possessing this baby with a demonic spirit. And then this actor goes on to develop a case of schizophrenia that was so severe that he committed suicide. It's really curious. It's obviously very, very.
Oof. Okay. So is he saying that it was an actual ritual? Because they love filming scenes. Okay. And scene filmers. Okay. So learning tools, new rhythm. It's in 9/6 time.
Sad. You do kind of have to wonder if maybe the rituals being performed in the movie could have been a little too effective and maybe actually worked. And another kind of random strange thing about John Denver is that he was nearly on the Space Shuttle Challenger that blew up in
Whoa.
1986. So, in addition to his activism for nature, he was also very involved with NASA over the years. He was on the board of governors for this National Space Society, which is some sort of nonprofit that advocates for space exploration. And he's just kind of randomly on the board with a bunch of scientists and former astronauts and engineers. And John Denver himself even said after the Challenger explosion that at one point he was going to be on the Challenger space shuttle. He has this quote here. He says, "I was told at one point that I was going to fly, and I have every reason to believe that initial civilian flight was going to be mine until the president picked someone else."
Quetzalcoat lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican Aztec got the deity. Quetzalcoat lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican Aztec culture deity. Quetzalcoat lives in Colorado. Quetzalcoat lives in Colorado. That's just the Quetzalcoat lives. You guys get it. What other Quetzalcoat lives in Colorado. Mesoamerican Aztec culture deity. All sorts of music opportunities as we scroll through the deities of the Mesoamerican Aztec culture. It's spinning leftways. That's the feminine. So this is gonna be a good one. Oh, it's almost. Oh, this is a quick, short, 16 minutes, and that's just fine. Okay, that's. I mean, and that's all you need with something. This is rich. It resonates. Okay, good. It's not just this information overload like American Redacted. Okay, this is this is keto. Okay, he just put me in keto in 5 minutes. Okay, and Kyle Dunnigan's scene partner was having to drink coffee 9 seconds into it because everyone's talking about her looks. Okay. John Denver. He's a Quetzalcoat that lived in Colorado.
And then after the explosion, there was a controversy for a while over whether NASA should continue to get funding for the space program. And John Denver showed up to the hearings and lobbied in front of Congress about funding for NASA. So again, it's just kind of random that John Denver, of all people, was the guy they sent to Washington to lobby on behalf of the space program.
Okay, let me get that Stranger Thing one real quick because I do, I'm in I like a good Gateway and CERN combination. Okay, so I do want to see this. I got a little caught up in just being way over the aesthetic, so that immediately did not want me to watch it. But that's why I don't put Melton and Merch in my titles anymore.
What if the most classified experiments in modern history weren't buried in locked files?
Oh man. Oh. Sorry, we are going to have to immediately skip this one. Okay. And I knew it. Okay. This is one of those channels that has AI scripts reading and an AI narration. This is not human hands. Okay. And you'll see, the B-roll footage that they constantly shoot, and they got people just walking in the city streets with low lights and looking like it's Japan. So I'm pretty sure it'd be hard pressed for there to be any footage that will be pertinent to what the person, and it's not a person, it's she's been digitized, I mean, no, that's straight digital. That's AI script and AI narration. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. Okay, we talked about the day before about AI and all that. So take a look back at that, and but it's being able to detect when you can sense when someone's reading, carrying out orders because it's their job. Okay. No, poison is poison. Okay. No matter if you work there. So this right here is it won't have any kind of it's nothing like Control Alt History. Okay. He is showing you some amazing information and all set up nicely. Every picture and frame goes with exactly what he's talking about. And this atrocity is going to be way worse than Redacted. Okay, so let's just, because I can already tell by the voice, I can already tell by the sentence structure of these AI scripts. Okay, they all talk the same. So let's just see. Let's take it back. I mean, the thing is hacked headlines. So we'll see.
What if the most classified experiments in modern history weren't buried in locked files, but replayed for millions of people as entertainment? Stranger Things isn't just a sci-fi nostalgia show. It's a carefully wrapped version of something much older, much darker, and very real. Government experiments on children, psychological conditioning through trauma, the search for hidden dimensions of reality, and the idea that certain minds, young, sensitive, gifted, can be turned into gateways. Stranger Things is about a secret government operation that...
Okay, well, I stand corrected. Okay, so far, not at all what I thought. They're actually following a narrative structure, not just saying random things about these catchy phrases. There is footage that coincides with what she's saying, and perhaps there might be a little bit of a humanness to her voice after all, but I'm not willing to say that quite yet. Okay, you haven't quite convinced me of that yet, but so far on the other stuff, okay, all right. It's not. This might be something to watch.
kidnaps children and uses them as test subjects in experiments tied directly to military technology and interdimensional research. The children are conditioned and pushed beyond normal psychological limits because their minds are the access point. Their trauma, fear, and dissociation are what allow contact with the other side. Stranger Things presents it as science fiction, but what they don't tell you is this storyline closely resembles a real-world framework that has existed for decades. At different points in modern history, governments and institutions have pursued the same core objective, identifying certain minds, altering consciousness, and pushing beyond the known limits of reality, often at the expense of children who are frequently the primary targets and victims of these experiments.
We don't zoom in on women, okay? But She is Stranger Things. Okay. She's dressed in like the show. That's the improv. Yeah, those are all improv students. They know about the energy. Seeing things that aren't really there. Alright. Let's wrap this up. Play a little bit more of this and then we gotta go. Okay, well this looks like a good one. We'll start with this one because I think that's what I got to start doing. And I can't prepare a whole show from all the recommended from Asmongold's page. Okay. Now I pulled these from mine. I mind these ones. But what we can do is just come right back on, and because these are gonna be some good ones. Okay, we're not catching up on the news. Okay, this isn't a daily dish. Okay, we're gonna find things that are coming out, relatively current and pertaining to comedy and this kind of stuff. We like this kind of stuff. All of us in my head love this kind of stuff. They all say to stay away from this stuff. I don't need to be learning about that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and start with that tomorrow or the next day. Oh, never. Okay, because I don't need to be learning so many hobbies. Okay, I used to watch this stuff. It was fun. And now I got to watch it with you guys. Come on. No, I appreciate it. Thanks in the chat, but this is just episode 0. Okay, so I'm not even thinking that this is a show. I'm just checking out the levels. Okay, I figured out how to be full screen. And see, it didn't play. Okay. Again, this is why I had to do the checks, because it did not carry through in the other tabs that I was going to. So, this is what AI told me. He said to watch out. They're going to not record all the tabs that you go through. And that's what it did. But it helped me get full screen. But yeah, okay. So just a test. We'll start with some Project Montauk. Okay. That's that ET stuff, okay? You see kids riding bikes. That's ET. So who knows what happened with that situation? Okay. The royalty of Hollywood is hugging ET.